Hello, it's finally Monday. Let's go through the market, see what's going on with everything. Looks like retail is panic selling commodity on fading war premiums and OPEC supply hikes, massively structural liquidity shifts happening in the East as G10 capital rotates heavily into the USD. Smart money looks to be front-running major institutional regulatory upgrades. So we're looking at gold a little bit, and then USDJPY. We went through some charts this morning. Euro USD is getting some heavy overhead resistance here. We had a short and we kind of got stopped out on that, but it looks like the thesis will eventually prove itself. The GBP seems to be struggling to maintain that high on low volume there, just hitting the 200-day on the 4-hour. And then looking at futures, it looks like getting some more overhead resistance on that. Volumes dying off. We had a slight bounce overnight. Looks like that's kind of drying up a bit. And then, let's see. MSTR, that's up pre-market, but I'm suspecting that's a fade. So we'll see how that goes. Let's go through the positions we have and see what happened. I recently added a new column to the positions that show you how far from the target the last price is. That helps me a bit to understand kind of where we're at with each position. Looks like for XLV, pre-market is definitely up. We got filled at a good price on Friday. So we'll see how that goes. Looking at XLV, we had put a buy order. This is just a standard high and tight. We saw the breakout on the 26th. We had some low volume pullback, indecisive candle previous day, put a buy order just above that consolidation high with some wiggle room, and we got a piece of that huge breakout bar. Pre-market's up, that's a good sign. So we'll just watch this for a few days and see where it goes from there until we move a stop around. Let's see here. Looking at the box scanner, we had Bark fill, and it filled right at the top of that high there. So we'll just watch that. I'm not going to put any notes on these box scanners since that's kind of the automated play strategy that we got. Microsoft. Okay. We got filled on a pullback theory and then price went up. It's testing that previous range. So we're going to keep this stop loss in place. Okay, path is a clod. Let's see, GLW. This was a bad deal all around. I forgot to put my sell order at the top. It would have triggered. And then I forgot to put my stop loss. And that would have triggered. So this is a huge mess on my part. I'm going to put the stop loss in just underneath yesterday's low. But either way this moves, this is a bad deal, bad win, all around bad. Sometimes things happen. You just have to learn from it. I've definitely learned from this. So we'll see what happens with it. FTNT. Okay, I got some low volume pullback there as it tests the breakout bar from the 29th. Stop loss remains as we try to get closer to the target. SBUX was a uptrend bottom. Pretty big indecisive candle. Pre-market below the open, or right at the open it looks like. What is that? Open was 10400. Wow, so right at the open on the previous day. So definitely an indecisive candle. I'm going to move the stop up a bit to just up a little with wiggle room. Okay. Geo, just your old-fashioned high and tight. Low volume rising, not the greatest. It's just really low volume as it tries to go up. This is floating on low volume. CVS. It looks like it's another consolidation. Alright, DAL over the weekend got a ton of stuff on social media. Pre-market's down below the close. We have a pretty tight stop, so if it stops out, we book our profit. PBI. Interesting. PBI is testing the previous pullback. Might get stopped out on that. It does not look too good. We have a stop underneath the previous range there, so we'll see what happens. LIN. LIN saw another large candle, lower volume. I'm going to move this up a touch. I'm going to move LIN just a little bit. Okay. NTB. All right, low volume. Consolidating on low volume. Pre-market's definitely down. Let's look at what's going on in the market. SPY's unchanged. Doesn't look right. NTP, FISI, low volume within the bar, so that would be technically an absorption, I guess. As we're getting out of this area, I'll move the stop up just a little bit. CSX, we've held this thing forever. We're finally getting some flight out of here. I'm going to move this stop up just underneath 3 previous lows, just to further lock this in. Higher volume with some sell pressure. I would assume price is going to come back down to my fill just to test it. Monster. Continuing out. We have a healthy stop in place. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. There you go. Just underneath the open on the 25th bar. And way underneath the pullback. So that's 25 and 30th. What was the volume on that? High volume. Okay. And then PANW, we're up 51% on that. We're just seeing slightly higher volume, but within that range of the previous day. This is interesting. I'm going to keep it where it's at. See what happens. Okay. We updated the runs screen so we can see a little better what's going on. with each strategy. See if anything kicked off here. Sector rotation, we're getting a buy on XLE. On the daily. So right at that 200 day. That's interesting. Okay. Not too bad. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Looking at some charts, XLE is getting a buy signal. We'll look at that. We have potential pullback on SIF, aerospace. We'll look at that. Bank cores seeing a little low volume as the high continues. We are seeing some sell pressure show up though, so we'll keep an eye on that. Twin, it is testing that previous range, but I'm not too excited about that. SRRK, health and biotech. Looks like we had a liquidity grab on Friday, and now pre-market's up. So we might put a buy alert above this high area. We'll look at that. Traeger. This is like the grill people. What's the area here? This is definitely a previous support resistance from September of last year. And then it's testing that high. And the next kind of range is 100. So, not sure if it's worth it. We might see a gap fill to 110 though. So that would be kind of fun. Because that will definitely happen. Huge stop loss grab right before it went down. Do we have earnings coming up? Yeah, I just don't like the chart on that. And Dreamfinders Homes. Not too excited about that either. The low volume going into the 200 day is not super fun. Let's go through some stuff here. This is why you have stops in place. If you look at AEHR, we had a thesis. It looked like it was working. We had a stop at 97. We honored that stop, and now it's looks like it's heading towards the 200 day. If we would have felt emotional, we would have kept it, but we're not. So Novo, we've been looking at Novo to see how it watches the 200 day. We had a breakout above the 200 day, high volume, and then pre-market's back down. So we're going to continue watching this on the daily. This looks like it might be doing something. It's down right now. We'll keep an eye on that. Coin is looking really bad. I don't know what happened with Corning. Walmart and Costco are still down. BW hit the 200 day. Now it's up a little bit. Seeing a big consolidation area on Best Buy. US Bank Core's up. That's interesting. Wow, KTOS. Huge indecisive candle. That's interesting. We're back to the top. Okay. So we're not doing a ton of new positions this morning. We are going to be watching XLV position, seeing how that works. We do have that September of 2 years ago area that it blew past. We're going to be watching our Corning, seeing what happens with that. If we go back, something that's close to the price target is basically SBUX, XLV. So we'll be watching that this morning. CVS. CVS looks like it had a big consolidation area. So yeah, as it gets closer, yeah, we're going to hit that. I'm pretty confident. We'll keep an eye on that. Okay. Pretty chill morning, but we'll see how it goes in the market.